What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. In this episode, we have a lot of important news to go over. We have a lot of plays that we're watching for the market for this week. A lot of news came out over the weekend, and a lot of this news can definitely impact the market. So we have a lot of important news, so make sure you stick around to the end of the video. If you guys aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. But Tom, what happened over the weekend?
Yeah, the big news was that Democrats and Republicans both actually dismissed Trump's coronavirus stimulus offer, dimming hopes for a new deal. And you can see that these are actually the numbers that were going to be in Trump's deal. And his deal was going to total $1.8 trillion, which was still $400 billion less than Democrats wanted. And just keep in mind that Republicans are also now against this new package, as well, as it seems like both sides almost just want to wait until after the election, which almost makes sense because then there will be new Senate members and obviously new people in the House as well. So it'll obviously change the political landscape pretty largely if we get or after the election. So if one side or the other does well during the election, it could also mean that they could get a better deal on the bill, because if the Democrats, let's just say, control the House, the Senate, then they could obviously pass the bill a lot easier. And if the Republicans control both, then they could pass their version of the bill easier as well.
True. So I was kind of surprised to see Democrats and Republicans dismiss the bill. You know what I mean? Like, I could definitely see Democrats denying it, but so yeah, that obviously that kind of flushes everyone's hopes of a stimulus deal being passed sooner rather than later. So obviously that's not the best for the markets. Like the markets kind of rallied off of the news when Trump initially sent that deal in, but I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to see how futures open. Futures did not open today yet. You know, it's Sunday and the market didn't open yet for futures, but we'll know shortly.
Yeah, I was actually really happy that the markets were closed whenever this news came out, because I think that this would have really rattled the market. I think if this was like a Monday or Tuesday and this news came out, I think that we could have seen a lot of red on futures.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll see in a couple hours, but what other news happened over the weekend?
Yeah, it's October now, and Apple is reporting that they are going to announce their new iPhone potentially on their new event October 3rd. And CNBC reports that their next generation iPhone 12 is expected to launch during an online-only event on October 3rd this year, with a new boxier iPad Pro inspired look, faster processing chips, and 5G wireless technology. So it seems like the Apple iPhone 12 is starting to gain some traction, and we can see that Apple's stock really popped Friday in after hours. We were actually looking at this, me and Mike were, and it was really nice to see it pop above that 116.50 support and just fly all the way up to 118. It's almost like somebody knew that this news was going to come out, that they were well, obviously the event was planned for October 13th, but it's just a lot of people, I think, are getting into the hype leading into this event now.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see kind of like a hype run up into the event, and then if the event is really good, we could see a continuation from that. But if the event is just okay or worse than expected, kind of like that Battery Day event with Tesla, then maybe we could see the stock pull back or fall. So we'll have our eyes on it, but just don't get caught up in the hype like everyone was with Battery Day. Everyone was hyping up Battery Day for a long time, saying that Battery Day was going to make Tesla stock just explode. And then after the event, the stock fell. So just don't get caught too much in the hype, because a lot of these hype events, sometimes they end up working out and the stocks continue. But a lot of the times when they're overhyped, they don't meet the expectations that everyone has for it, and it ends up falling. So just keep that in mind. Don't believe or don't fall too much into the hype. Was there any other news over the weekend?
Not too big of news. The biggest news was really that stimulus package.
Okay. All right, cool. So now let's get into the momentum plays. Actually, no, let's get into our member of the day for this week. So our member of the day was Dan_Z. So Dan Z is always sharing great information in the Discord. He's always super active and extremely positive. So huge shout out to Dan Z. And now let's get into our momentum plays for tomorrow. And the first one is Microsoft. So Microsoft had a pretty good day on Friday too. It looks like it's running up pretty good. What levels should we be watching?
Yeah, just make them break that 216 level. It seems like that was a pretty defined resistance in after hours.
Okay, awesome. And then with the next play, we have Workhorse WKHS.
Workhorse, make them pop above 28.30.
All right, and then we have Google GOOGL.
Google, make them hit 115 or 15.13.
All right, and then last but not least, we have Apple AAPL.
AAPL, make them pop above 118.25.
Awesome. So we are eyeing all of these plays potentially to the upside only if they can break above the levels Tom listed. A lot of these, or all of these plays have a ton of momentum. We are just looking for a possible continuation of that momentum only if they can break above the levels Tom listed for a quick in and out day trade. So now for our unusual options activity for tomorrow, and we are looking at the Apple 120 strike call options that expire this Friday, October 16th, and there was $12.5 million put into this play. I can see, I mean, there's a ton of potential for this play. I mean, just look at Apple in after hours right now. It's soaring. So, as long as futures open up and Apple has upwards momentum come Monday morning, I think this can be a pretty good play, but it's risky because with this unusual options activity, you never truly know if they are longing that option or if they're shorting them. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks really good actually to the upside. I really like the movement on it in after hours. And I bet you these guys are really happy if they longed those calls and saw this movement. I mean, they're going to be up pretty well Monday morning if Apple can hold these levels even where they are. But if they can even keep going, obviously into that event, this will do very well for them if they are longing those calls. And I would really think that they were longing them, knowing that there was an event coming, and just given how bullish the setup looked on Friday. Like, it looked really bullish, and you can see it just bounce off support and then just break right through it at the end of the day. So I really like this play to the upside. The only thing to keep in mind is that it's ran so much that, I know it's only 2 points, but it looks like they've had a pretty big run in after hours. So just keep that in mind. I know there's an event coming up, but just keep in mind that a lot of the hype might happen whenever the event actually gets here. So there could still be some sideways movement until that event happens.
Yeah. All right. So now for our comments from the previous episode. And with the first comment, we have Matt saying, hey guys, appreciate the daily analysis. I bought calls on ATVI 77 strike calls for January 2021. Looking for the Call of Duty catalyst upon release in November to break download records. Thoughts? So I think this can be a good play considering that you have a lot of time on the option and you're actually in the money right now. So I think you did a great job with selecting the option. Just my initial thoughts is that earnings is coming up right now. So that's definitely a big catalyst. Obviously it would not be good if we saw a fall in the earnings. Normally I always like to buy options right after the earnings release. But like you said, the event is coming up pretty soon. So what do you think about this play, Tom?
Yeah, I actually kind of like it. I play a lot of Call of Duty myself, not a lot, but I've played from time to time, and I could see this actually going up. I've liked ATV in the past. You can see that I drew some white circles a long time ago whenever I had some entries on this stock, and I wrote it up to about $75 a share. And you can see that this was back whenever they released their last Call of Duty game, which was right around November 12th of last year or November 3rd of last year. And you can see the stock really moved up off of that. So maybe that's what he was referring to, is that new game coming out could lead to a move up similar to that. But just given their chart setup right now, I don't think it's in as prime of a spot to rise as it was the last time. But I could see them having good earnings, given that obviously there's a lot more people online right now. And if there's a lot of people that buy their game, I think the game releases a few days after earnings, so that will not be factored into those earnings, obviously, because earnings always calculates the quarter that we had previously had, not the quarter that we just had.
Yeah, so he is playing this for a run up from the new game release. So it's not an earnings play. It's like you said, it is a like a download record catalyst type thing. So if it does break download records, obviously that can be amazing for the company, and I'm sure the stock price would shoot up too. And especially given that you have good options, like it's not like you're buying like the 100 strike call options that expire in November. Like you have a great strike, you have the 77 strike calls, and then January 2021. Like you have a lot of time, and you're actually in the money. So I think you're in a pretty good position. Just one thing that I'm eyeing out for is earnings. If the earnings are bad, that can definitely screw things up in the short term. But overall, I think it's a pretty decent play.
Yeah, and you can actually see the last time they had earnings was whenever they peaked up here at like $88, and then they actually went down from there. So just keep that in mind that earnings might not always go the way you think.
Yep. And now for our next comment, we have NG saying, "How about DPZ stock?" So Domino's Pizza. So let's take a look. DPZ. They have had an amazing year so far. They actually really benefited from COVID. So they've been having great earnings too. I mean, it's besides these last earnings, but overall. They've been doing pretty well. Their stock is doing extremely well. What do you think about DPZ?
Yeah, I remember somebody actually asking about this a little while ago, and they were asking if they should hold calls going into this earnings play. And you can really see why, it's just not smart to do that sometimes, even though Domino's Pizza was doing really well and they're doing really well over the whole year. That those earnings can really play a factor. And you can see they did not beat their last earnings. So that's probably why they went down. But really good stock movement though over the past year. I really like this as more of a value stock or just a long-term stock to hold, as it seems like they've done pretty consistent over the past 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look at that long-term chart. This is just 5 years, right, Tom?
Yeah,
Just
just five.
yeah. So in the past 5 years, they went from $100 to highs of 435, and it seems like they're pretty steady. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's anything too excessive. Like and they've benefited from COVID. So I really like it actually. Yeah, I like it. With the next play, or with the next comment, we have Theater saying, "What do you guys think of FCEL? Sold shares at $2.50 and bought back in at $1.95 this week. Thanks." So let's take a look. Can you zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, let
Um,
me get into a 180-day 15-minute here.
all right. So he said that he sold shares at 250 and he bought back in at 195 this week. So if that's the case, he's doing pretty well right now. I mean, right now it's at $2.60. With these penny stocks, they're so volatile, and a lot of them are so manipulated, and there's a lot of like bad things that go on behind the scenes with these stocks. Personally, I don't trade these stocks, but you are in a pretty good position, and I'm not sure what your risk tolerance is, but personally, if I bought in at 195 and it's at 262 right now, I would personally sell them.
Yeah, me too. It's just one of those stocks that it's so low in price that, I mean, as long as you're really good and you know what kind of risk tolerance you have and stuff, it could be okay. But just keep in mind that with these penny stocks, whenever they fall like 20 cents and stuff like that, sometimes that equates to 20%. So it can be pretty large swings, sometimes larger than options in that case.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then they actually have options too. So thank you everyone for all the amazing comments on the last video. Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
Yeah, my last play was actually going to be GLD. You can see they did really well on Friday, especially on Thursday night heading into Friday morning. They did really well. And then Friday at the end of the day also did really well, kind of like Apple. Obviously, gold is not correlated to Apple in any way, but just similar chart setups here. And I really like gold to the upside come Monday, especially if there's bad news in the market. It seems like gold is starting to stray away from the market. For a while gold was going up, it was kind of going up with the market, but you can see now gold is kind of starting to go sideways, and I could really see it almost go up if the market ends up going down off of this news with the stimulus package getting rejected. So with GLD, obviously, it's going to move off of slash GC futures, but just keep in mind that with the movement lately, how gold has been following the market. Make sure that the way futures open up separately than the market. So if the market goes down and gold goes down whenever futures open, just then gold will not be the play for Monday. But if gold goes up whenever the market goes down, whenever futures open, then that would give me a good indicator that GLD could play out well Monday.
Right, exactly. And GLD has some pretty well priced options too. So, but like Tom said, slash GC futures are how you can see gold futures right when they open up tonight. And if you want to see like S&P 500 futures, you can do slash ES. And we are on Thinkorswim. I know a couple people have been asking in the comments down below. We are using Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade, but you can see futures for free on CNBC.com. They have a futures tab, and I think it's just like 15 minutes delayed, but it's free. So thank you guys. Tom's actually gonna pull it up right now. So we can see that you can just click gold right at the top, Tom. Yep, gold right there, and it'll show you the gold futures, and then you could even do the pre-market. Yep, so these are gold futures right here, and then if we go to, where is it?
Here we go. Here's the major indexes.
Yeah, those are the indexes, and then can you show them
Here's the futures right here.
Yep.
Commodities and then currencies, and you can see the U.S. 10-year bonds even.
Yeah, can you go back to the original homepage real quick?
Yeah.
So if we go to, you can see how there's pre-market right at the top. When futures open up tonight, you can click pre-market and it'll show you what futures are doing in real time, or it's like 15 minutes delayed. So keep that in mind, and thank you guys so much for watching this video. Tom and I really appreciate all the comments, likes, and new subscribers to the channel. We're just under 30,000 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any comments, let us know in the comments down below. And if you want to try out the new options day trading bot, you can click the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. But like I said, any comments, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.